the mistakes that are delaying your mastery in simultaneous interpretation. Number 1, starting right away. Number 2, following the original word order too close. Check my previous videos to get a scoop on these 2 common mistakes. And number 3, stopping because you ran into an unknown word or term. Here are some signs that you are stopping because you ran into an unknown word or term. You keep missing information while you are speaking. You cannot keep up with the speaker. And you keep losing the storyline. By the end of this video, you will start understanding how to avoid this mistake and start transforming your interpretation. Sometimes we get a little bit confused and we stop interpreting. It is normal to stop and now and then and use the time to make sense of what we're hearing. The question is, what is happening when you stop? If you stop and you cannot get back on track with your interpretation, then it's a problem. If after stopping, there's nothing coming out of your mouth to make up for the time that you were quiet, then that is a problem. But if you stop and you can recover, and there are recovery strategies in Simultaneous that can help you with this, then stopping is fine. So now let's go back to when stopping is a problem. When you stop because you run into an unknown word or term, it can be detrimental to your listener because your listener is going to be confused and is going to lose the train of thought. Failing to recover from this stopping can lead to frustration for both listener and interpreter. Can you relate to this? Let's take a closer look at this. Why do we stop? Why do we stop when we run into an unknown word or term? Most of the time, it's because we are focusing on the one isolated word. In my previous video, I mentioned that interpreters focus on ideas and thoughts, not isolated words. And interpreters also focus on how ideas are connected in the whole context of the story. When we are processing information, we have to amplify our spectrum of attention because the moment we hold on to the one word, we get stuck in an interpretation. Can you relate to this? Have you ever got stuck? Yes? And would you agree that when that happens, that is a very uncomfortable place to be? Would you? Yes, I'm with you, totally. The speaker continues delivering information, and we cannot reconciliate this one word with what was said before or what was said after this word. And when that happens, then there is a big interruption in our interpretation. So here's something you should know about how interpreters process information when interpreting. Are you ready? If you have a paper and pen, this is the time to take notes. Interpreters work with various levels of meaning of an idea. That is our secret power. Yes, it is. So when interpreters look at the one word, they just don't see one word. Instead, they look at the word within the idea, and the idea in relationship to previous ideas and ideas that came after this idea. So interpreters make sense of the one word in the framework of meaning of words, but most importantly, the underlying meaning in connection to the ideas around this one word. And sometimes there are different underlying meanings to the one idea or ideas, especially when we are working with idiomatic expressions, metaphors, or comparisons. There are going to be different levels of meaning in one idea or one given thought. Being able to know this when we are interpreting, that, my friends, is our secret power. Here is my recommendation for when you get stuck in the one word or one term. When this happens, practice letting go of the words and focusing on the meaning. Forget about the one word. Make sense of the whole idea or thought. What is the meaning of this word in relationship to everything that came before it and after it? And once you do that, interpret that. Exactly that. Now, you must be thinking, how is this possible? Anyway, how is this possible? Well, we had to trust. We had to trust that our brain is going to provide us with the right word or the right words that we need. Because that's how we produce a speech every day. You see me talking now, and I have some notes here, of course. But as I'm speaking, in the back of my head, there is a part of my brain that is already preparing my next idea, choosing the words and the grammatical structure I need to express my next idea. And then, as I'm speaking that idea, my brain is already preparing my next one and my next one. I trust that my brain will bring the right words based on what I know, based on what I remember. The right words will be elicited. And that's the whole gist of speaking spontaneously. An interpretation happens to be the art of speaking spontaneously into another language. So let's recap. Mistake number 3, stopping because you ran into an unknown word or term. Interpreters focus on ideas, not isolated words. Interpreters look at the various levels of meaning in a sentence. That is our secret power. So the recommendation is practice letting go of the words and restating meaning. Letting go of the word and focusing on the meaning of the idea or ideas and how you restate that into your target language is what we do in interpretation all the time. And this is what makes interpretation possible. More likely, the word that got us stuck will be replaced by another equivalent that the speaker already used or that is available in your target language. This approach takes practice. This approach takes trust in your skill. And that is why in my program, the Interpreter Certification Accelerator, is not about giving information, but exploring in real time ways to get unstuck and do this consistently without changing register or without changing the meaning so that interpreters can build up confidence. Another thing that we do a lot during my program is to work on expanding vocabulary. That is, we work with synonyms, antonyms, and restating because you need to have as many options as possible for whatever word you have in your glossaries or words that you use regularly in your subject matter of interpretation. The aim is to have a backup for the backup. Our brains are trainable, And they can easily learn to do this without overwhelm or anxiety. So what you should do when you stop because you ran into an unknown word or term, practice letting go of the words and restating meaning. I want you to know that in my 8-month program, the Interpreter Certification Accelerator, we go deeper into all these concepts and these 3 most common errors that interpreters make during simultaneous interpretation as well. Registration is open for the 2026 cohort. If you are interested in transforming your interpretation, email me to ask for details. And by all means, subscribe to my channel so that you can get more videos on transforming your interpretation with Catalina Natalini, Interpreter Coach. See you soon.